I have a confession to make. Before I was a YouTube cooking guy, I was just a regular cooking guy. And when I was very young, I knew very little. I have grown quite a bit and learned quite a bit. I've studied and I have amassed a bit of knowledge. And this is one of those meals I made before I had any of that. I've kicked it up quite a bit since then. Whew, you don't want to know what was in this originally. But this is my Americanized stir fry. It's just a quick thing, throw together. There's some fun ingredients in here that you wouldn't normally think of. I'm going to show you exactly how to make this, and hopefully you enjoy it. Because I really love this, and it's really fun, and it's got sriracha in it, so it's got a little tingle to it. I love that part. That's good. So I'm going to show you how to make this. It's super fast, super easy, but yeah, let's get started cooking. With any stir fry, the chopping is the most time-consuming part, but this goes pretty fast. I got about 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I'm just cutting this into about 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch strips, something like that. Just go through the whole thing. We're going to put a little salt and pepper on here. Most of the seasoning for this, the sauce comes later after it cooks because you can't cook it with a sauce on it because that doesn't work very good. And we're just going to put a little olive oil on this, give this a nice coating, and then this is going to go into our screaming hot wok. This thing better be really, really hot. When the oil hits it, she should start smoking pretty fast. I'm using this flat bottom wok. I believe it's an old Circulon pan. It's got the weird ridges in it and stuff. If you have a carbon steel pan, those work fantastic. This works great on gas. On electric, it's a little different. But on a gas stove, a wok like this is fantastic for something. And right now you find out because this would splatter everywhere. But the wok kind of keeps it inside. And it cooks on the sides. It doesn't really cook on the bottom. So you want to move this up the sides as far as you can, get as much surface contact, and we're just going to let this cook away until we get this nice and brown. Keep stirring it. It's called stir fry for a reason. Don't let it burn, but don't turn it too much, otherwise you'll never get the perfect browning. So while the meat's cooking, I figured I'll go over all the veggies we're going to use for the next part of this meal. I've already done all the chopping and everything, which is really the only hard part. That's one great thing about this meal is if you plan ahead, it really only takes a couple of minutes, and that's the great thing about stir fry. It's super fast. So what do we have first? We have our onion right here. This is about half of a yellow onion. I just basically cut it in half, cut it into some pieces, and I have the white part of the green onion here that we have over here. I just slice this up in some small pieces. That's going to be going in our wok here pretty fast. I have some shredded carrots right here. This is super easy. There, you can just buy the bag of shredded carrots in the produce department. Really easy because shredding carrots is a pain in the butt. So you don't have to do that. Snow peas. Basically just trim the ends and then cut them in half right here. Those will be going in, and those are super yummy and wonderful. I love putting that in there. We have our green onions. This is the green parts on here. This is kind of a garnish. It goes on at the end. That is lovely and wonderful. We've got about 4 cloves of garlic that is minced up right here. That will be going in early on and adding to massive amounts of flavor. Now here's the weird thing. Okay, so I have pineapple chunks. So just get a can of pineapple chunks, something like this basically. Save the juice, save everything, and just dice them, cut them in half, more or less. And that's it. Save the juice. That is important. That's going to be building our broth gravy sort of thing for this. But that's basically it. Since the meat is done here in about 2 seconds, this will be going in our hot pan, and then we're ready to finish this up. Let's get back to cooking. Okay, so the chicken's had a couple minutes to cook here. This really takes about 3 minutes. The temperature is as hot as you can get it. And as long as you don't see any pink left, you're ready to move on to the next stage. I'm going to get this into a bowl that has the marinade in it. I'm going to put the ingredients on the screen here so that you can see what that is. But yeah, basically put your cooked chicken and all the juices in that bowl. Give it a good stir and let that sit while we start our vegetables. Yeah, don't clean out your wok, just add more oil to it. And we are going to add the onions, the carrots, and our snow peas in here right now. And we're going to cook these down in just the hot oil for a minute or two. Now we're going to put the garlic in and Then we're going to let this brown up just a little bit. You want the carrots and the onions to show signs of cooking, and at this temperature, they will. But you get just that little edge of brown on them, and they are about at the perfect stage. Everything gets a little bit more wilty and a little softer. That is about perfect. You don't want to overcook this because we're not done yet, basically. So don't overcook it at this point. We got the pineapple going in and all the juices. Now we got the chicken going back in there with all of the sauce it's been marinating in. And this just goes right back in. Start tossing this around, and we are getting very, very close to the point where we're building our sauce. Now I have a half a cup of beef stock to start with. I just want to see a nice layer of liquid in here, but this is going to be very loose and very saucy, so I made a cornstarch slurry. What is cornstarch slurry? Well, the recipe for that's on the screen. There you go. Just pour that in the middle of this, and as this heats and comes to a boil, it will start to thicken. Now it's time for some heat. I got some sriracha here. You could use, Thai chilies or something else if you really wanted to. But honestly, after about 4 or 5 minutes, this is pretty much done. We're going to put our green onions on top. The heat is off, and we are basically done cooking. Just incorporate this, stir it up real good, push it to the back, let it sit for about 2 seconds because it is volcanic hot, and then it's time to eat. Everything's finished. This is super fast. It's 8 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. Basically, cook time. If you don't have a wok, you can do this in a regular frying pan. Honestly, it does work. The wok is just easier because you can really get in there and do stuff, and it heats up the sides nicely because the heat from the burner is going up. If you have gas, if you have electric stove, woks suck. So don't use one. Because it doesn't heat the same way and it doesn't work the same way. So if you have gas, these things are awesome. If you have electric, not so much. That's basically the end of the tutorial part. All right, can we get on with this? Okay, I have some rice here that I cooked up earlier. You know how to make rice. Okay, I'm just going to grab the rice here. We're going to lay down a bed of rice for our mock stir fry to go on. And I'm realizing the irony of putting white rice in a white bowl. Can you even see it? I don't think you can. All right, so that is that. That is a beautiful bed of rice. Now, I don't know about you, this can always use a little extra, just a smidge. If you want to put butter on your rice or anything else, or drop your cap in the rice, go for it. But basically, however you like your rice, whatever you want to do, I'm not going to judge you because I'm not there. No one can see that. And now if you're posting that on YouTube or something, people can make fun of you in the comments. I can't wait for that. That'll be fun. So if you think that's silly, post it in the comments. That's what the social norm is. Okay, we are just going to ladle this in a little bit on top here. That is a massive amount of food. Make sure you get plenty of the sauce because the sauce is amazing. The gravy, basically, essentially. This one is for my wife. It's going to be a little small. But you must have the sauce. Oh, the sauce is the good part right there. Yes, that, as you can see, makes a ton of leftovers. So if you've got a big family and you want to feed them, this works pretty good at doing that. And that's basically that. I'm going to move this over here. Now I'm supposed to eat that because that's the formula for doing these things. I don't know if you can see the steam coming off of that. It's insane. That is actually going to cool down for a second before I even think about it. So I'm going to end the video now because that way you don't have to sit around for 5 minutes and wait for that to cool. I mean, I could fast forward, but why don't I take the thumbnails real quick and then come back and it'll cool down slightly and then I can eat it. Hey, that's why I have you people around. You're so smart. That was brilliant. Thank you. All right, hold on. That really did work out perfectly because I've got thumbnails. This has cooled down ever so slightly. And now we can dig in And no, I'm not doing this with chopsticks because I suck at chopsticks. I've never learned it, unless it's on the piano, I know that. But I'm a fork guy. Sorry. Oh, okay. I don't care if it's authentic or not. That's so good. Seriously. That sauce is in there. Really builds a ton of flavor. And the sriracha is a lovely little on your tongue right there. Seriously, that is easy. It's fun. You've got the ingredients for that. It's sitting around someplace, right? And now you know how to make it. So no excuse not to go make this. All right, enjoy it. Leave me a comment. Let me know. Come back after you've made it. And let me know what you thought of it and what you changed, what you'd add to it. Because you can do all kinds of stuff. This is just a base formula. This is basically just to get your mind thinking, what can I make? I've got stuff laying around. Throw it together. Probably don't use a can of tuna. Let's just leave that off the table. Anything else you want to do, go for it. I encourage you to try. Because if you try, you might win. You might actually get something, and then it feels great. So do it. Let me know, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.